Hello everyone, I have continued to work on the Radiator diversity issue in Kerbal Space Program, namely that we should have different looking radiators since they're a big part of our near future and far future ships. And one of the ways of getting extra radiators is to use the KSP Interstellar mod. The problem is the KSP Interstellar mod radiators don't work with system heat. System heat is one heat management system, and KSP Interstellar has its own heat management system, and the two do not mix. And I would like to use the near future and far future engines, especially the far future engines, which I have made more realistic, with more radiators so that we can diversify the look of our ships. I, of course, already made these arrow radiators, which are very unique, but I think we could do with more selection. And so what I have done is create a configuration for the KSP Interstellar radiators that you see here. So we have like surface skin wrappers here. They did not used to be system heat compatible, and so they would be useless for that engine, but now they do have system heat on them, and we can scale them up. Still not quite keeping up, but we see, oh, I have to activate the radiator. We see 122 megawatts now, so that's 22 megawatts. Graphene does very well. It does a lot better than the titanium radiators that are part of the arrow radiators, and the number that I selected for how well they do is 200 kilowatts per meter squared. So it reports its own surface area here, and what we're trying to do is get 200 kilowatts per meter squared, and that's why we get 22 megawatts here. So all of them are configured the same way with that graphene effectiveness amount, the 200 kilowatts per meter squared. And so if I extend panel, that helps. It's bringing the loop temperature down now because now we remove more than we generate. So that's good. And then the titanium ones do not do as well as the graphene ones. They only do 30 kilowatts per meter squared. So if we remove this, we're back having a problem here. And when we extend panel, we only get 1 megawatt. We have to scale it pretty big, but that's fair because the titanium ones operate at 850 Kelvin, whereas the graphene ones operate at 1450 Kelvin, 1450 Kelvin. So much better with the graphene, of course, that's the whole point, but they are far future sort of radiator panels, whereas the titanium ones could potentially be done in the near future. So that's the split. If you want near future stuff, you use the titanium stuff, and if you want the far future stuff, you use the graphene. So I've made them as realistic as possible, and the reason why I want to move away from KSP Interstellar's thermal mechanics is because it's way too optimistic, like way too optimistic. So the system heat one has a better overlay. Of course, it has an overlay. The Interstellar one does not. And also, overall, its numbers seemed more realistic, and I didn't have to change as much to get them working properly. So I'm going to then proceed after doing these radiators, and the configuration file will be in the video description. It marks the radiators as RO compatible and then sets them to be system heat compatible. So they are going to be able to work with your near future and far future engines and reactors and all that business. I don't know if there had been a configuration that already did this. I didn't find it, but even if there was, I wouldn't be sure if it did it realistically. So I have made it more realistic, and I'm confident in the realism of it at the moment. I might have to go through and double check all the other radiators that are system heat compatible to make sure they're still realistic. Anyway, but that being done, I am going to go through the rest of the KSP Interstellar mod. So that config will be in the video description. And for KSP Interstellar, there are other things that I want to make compatible with system heat, of course. That's including the reactors, wherever they are here. Electric power well, those that are generators, well, they have to be compatible too. And then the reactors are in here somewhere. And then the engines as well. I feel like they're not all in the categories here. So somewhere around here is my favorite reactor. Yes, there we go, the molten salt reactor. Right now, this is not compatible with system heat, but I want to make it so. And then I'll just probably take the parts from KSP Interstellar and use those, but not use all the rest that comes with it. That's not anything against KSP Interstellar's sophisticated way of calculating things. It's just that it's way more optimistic and futuristic than the stuff in near future and far future. And again, the system heat overlay is a little bit more convenient. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'll continue to make the configuration. I'll have to see whether I can, but it does mean dumping the KSP Interstellar calculations for those parts eventually and making it just system heat compatible. So it'll be a completely different version. I don't know. I can release the configurations, but I don't think I can package the parts along with the configurations into some sort of new mod unless I'll have to review the permissions for that and the credits to see who to credit for the parts, because KSP Interstellar was made by many people, lots and lots of people, so you have to sort all of that out. But anyway, I thought to share the configuration for the radiators. So now if you do want to, you can install just the radiators in KSP Interstellar and use them with system heat. Maybe people had already done that, maybe they had not. Anyway, with that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do press like. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. And I'll see you next time.